A European country might soon take a bold step, moving closer to BRICS and drifting away from the European Union. This could mark a major shift in the region's political and economic landscape. Some people mistakenly think BRICS is like NATO, but that's not true. NATO is a military alliance formed during the Cold War, while BRICS is more about financial partnerships and economic cooperation. These two organizations serve entirely different purposes. If BRICS can overcome its internal differences, it has the potential to rival the European Union. With access to vast natural resources and strong economic growth in its member countries, BRICS could become a global powerhouse in the future. At the moment, BRICS Plus isn't accepting new members. However, Turkey has officially expressed interest in joining, making its intentions clear on the international stage. Turkey's eagerness to join BRICS isn't surprising. For years, it has struggled to gain full membership in the EU, facing repeated roadblocks. Frustrated with the process, Turkey is now looking at other global alliances. Its unique position, bridging Europe and Asia, makes it an attractive partner for BRICS as it controls key trade routes that connect major markets. For President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, joining BRICS could be a game changer. It would allow Turkey to expand its influence beyond Europe and strengthen ties with emerging economies. That being said, BRICS isn't structured like the EU. It operates more like a discussion forum similar to the G20, rather than a deeply integrated political or economic union. While BRICS members cooperate on financial matters, they don't have the same level of binding commitments as EU nations do. Still, the world is changing fast, and the way international alliances work today might not be the same tomorrow. Even as Turkey explores new opportunities with BRICS, it remains economically tied to the EU. Trade between the two is worth roughly $213 billion, making the EU a critical partner for Turkey's economy, and Turkey isn't alone in reconsidering its place in Europe. Serbia is also weighing its options. Serbian Vice Prime Minister Aleksandar Vulin has openly criticized the EU for making endless demands without delivering meaningful progress on Serbia's membership bid. For more than a decade, Serbia has been waiting at the doorstep of the European Union, hoping to join the bloc. It applied for membership back in 2009 and was officially named a candidate in 2012. Yet after all these years, progress has been painfully slow, with no clear path forward. One of the biggest roadblocks? The EU wants Serbia to recognize Kosovo as an independent country, a demand that Serbia firmly refuses. This ongoing dispute has made the negotiation process even more complicated. Meanwhile, Serbia's relationship with Russia has been much smoother. Unlike the EU, Moscow has never pressured Serbia to choose sides. Instead, Russia has maintained a steady partnership without forcing Serbia to change its stance on Kosovo or other key issues. Frustrated with the EU's endless conditions, Serbia is now looking at other options. One of them is BRICS. Serbian officials are planning to attend the next BRICS summit, where they'll explore the possibility of joining the economic alliance. Serbia isn't alone in this shift. Countries like Turkey, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia are also showing interest in BRICS, seeing it as an alternative to Western-led institutions. Serbian Vice Prime Minister Aleksandar Vulin has made it clear his country needs to keep all doors open. BRICS is becoming an increasingly attractive option for nations that feel restricted by the EU's long list of requirements. With its focus on economic cooperation and trade, BRICS offers a different kind of partnership, one with fewer political strings attached. More and more countries from both Europe and Asia are exploring the idea of joining BRICS Plus, seeing it as a chance to strengthen economic ties with fast-growing markets. If this trend continues, BRICS could soon emerge as a major global force, challenging existing power structures. The growing interest in BRICS reflects deeper frustrations within Europe. Countries like Turkey and Serbia are tired of waiting for the EU to open its doors, only to be met with delays and additional demands. They're now searching for alternatives that give them more control over their economic future. In today's rapidly changing world, international partnerships are more important than ever. While traditional Western-led economic structures still hold influence, BRICS presents a different vision, one that revolves around emerging economies like China, India, Russia, Brazil, and South Africa. These nations are rich in natural resources and have booming markets, making them an appealing choice for countries looking to diversify their global alliances. Turkey sits at a unique crossroads where Europe meets Asia, making it a key player in global trade and politics. With control over critical shipping routes and economic corridors, it has the power to connect major markets from east to west. For President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, this geographical advantage is something he wants to capitalize on. He sees BRICS as a fresh opportunity, one that could strengthen Turkey's role in an increasingly multipolar world. Instead of relying solely on the European Union, Turkey is now looking to expand its influence by forging deeper ties with BRICS nations. Meanwhile, Serbia finds itself in a different but equally complex situation. Its relationship with the European Union has been rocky, largely due to the issue of Kosovo. The EU has made it clear, if Serbia wants to join, it must officially recognize Kosovo as an independent country. But for Serbia, this demand is a non-starter. It sees Kosovo as an integral part of its territory, making the EU's condition feel like an attack on its national sovereignty. This ongoing dispute has left Serbia at a crossroads. The longer the EU keeps the door half open, the more Serbia is forced to consider other options. BRICS, with its growing influence and less restrictive approach, is starting to look like an attractive alternative. But Kosovo isn't the only sticking point between Serbia and the EU. Serbia also has strong historical and economic ties with Russia, which further complicates things. The EU has repeatedly urged Serbia to distance itself from Moscow, particularly in light of recent geopolitical conflicts. However, cutting ties with Russia isn't that simple for Serbia. Their relationship goes beyond politics. It's deeply rooted in trade, energy partnerships, and cultural connections. For many in Serbia, walking away from Russia would mean abandoning a long-standing alliance. This is why BRICS is becoming an appealing option. Unlike the EU, BRICS doesn't demand political realignments or force its members to choose sides. It offers a space where Serbia can maintain its existing partnerships while also exploring new economic opportunities. For Serbia, BRICS presents a rare opportunity, one where it can expand its global reach without being forced to compromise on sensitive political issues. Unlike the European Union, BRICS doesn't impose strict conditions on its members, allowing nations to maintain their diplomatic ties without interference. Serbia could continue its relationships with both Russia and China while avoiding pressure to change its stance on Kosovo. Committed to reshaping the global economic landscape, it promotes cooperation between nations without the rigid political expectations that come with Western alliances. For Serbia, joining BRICS would mean integrating into a network of powerful economies that value national sovereignty and economic self-determination. One of the biggest draws of BRICS is its economic potential. As global trade patterns shift, BRICS members are working to reduce their dependence on Western financial institutions and create alternative economic pathways. This shift opens up a world of possibilities for Serbia, offering access to massive markets in Asia, South America, and Africa. Diversifying trade is key for any growing economy, and BRICS provides Serbia with new investment opportunities beyond Europe. Instead of being limited by EU regulations and political expectations, Serbia could benefit from a trade network that prioritizes economic cooperation over policy alignment. This flexibility would allow Serbia to strengthen its economy by attracting foreign investments and forming stronger trade agreements with non-Western partners. As BRICS continues to evolve, its influence is extending beyond trade. What started as an economic alliance is gradually shaping global politics. The more countries that join, the greater its ability to challenge the long-standing dominance of Western institutions. If nations like Turkey and Serbia officially align with BRICS, it could mark a turning point, pushing the organization beyond its current role and into the realm of geopolitical influence. For years, the West has shaped the rules of global economics and politics, but BRICS is offering an alternative. With each new country that expresses interest, the group gains momentum, signaling a shift toward a more multipolar world where power is more evenly distributed. The EU, long accustomed to being the preferred choice for countries like Serbia, may soon find itself facing real competition for influence in the Balkans and beyond.
Over the past few years, BRICS has gained traction as an alternative to Western-led economic and political alliances. As global power dynamics shift, many countries are reevaluating their traditional partnerships, questioning whether they truly align with their national interests. The European Union, once seen as the ultimate economic and political destination for aspiring nations, is now facing increasing competition from emerging blocs like BRICS. If the EU wants to maintain its influence, it may need to rethink its approach. Stricter membership conditions and bureaucratic hurdles have left some nations frustrated, causing them to explore other options. Countries like Serbia and Turkey, once eager to join the EU, are now considering alternative alliances that promise fewer political strings and more economic flexibility. At the heart of this shift is BRICS, a coalition that began in 2009 with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Together, these nations represent a massive portion of the global population and economy. Each country brings something valuable to the table. Brazil's agricultural and natural resource wealth, Russia's energy dominance, India's booming technology sector, China's manufacturing and investment power, and South Africa's strategic position in Africa's economic landscape. Unlike Western-led institutions, BRICS champions the idea of a multipolar world where influence is more evenly distributed rather than concentrated in the hands of a few major powers. Its members collaborate on everything from financial policies to infrastructure development, scientific research, and security initiatives, seeking to create a more balanced global system. One of the most notable figures pushing for BRICS expansion and influence is Russian President Vladimir Putin. Under his leadership, Russia has played a key role in strengthening the bloc, positioning it as a viable alternative to Western financial and security frameworks. A turning point came in 2015 during the BRICS summit in Ufa, Russia, where Putin led efforts to establish two major financial institutions, the New Development Bank, NDB, and the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, CRA. These institutions were designed to reduce reliance on Western financial systems like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, giving BRICS members more financial autonomy. But Putin's ambitions for BRICS go beyond economics. He has actively promoted greater military and security cooperation among member states, encouraging joint exercises, intelligence sharing agreements, and regional security initiatives. This move aims to create an alternative to NATO-led security structures, giving BRICS nations more control over their defense strategies. Expanding BRICS is another critical part of Putin's vision. By bringing in new members like Turkey and Serbia, the bloc can extend its global influence and form a stronger geopolitical counterweight to Western alliances. This expansion isn't just about increasing economic strength, it's about building a coalition that challenges the traditional balance of power. The rising interest in BRICS among European and Asian nations signals a major shift in global alliances. As more countries look beyond the EU and NATO, the influence of BRICS could continue to grow, reshaping international politics, trade, and security in ways that were once unimaginable. If you watched this video and found it interesting, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.